Hey guys, welcome back.
Welcome back. And this is
Bestie
with my bestie.
Hey guys, I'm Marley.
I'm Vanessa.
And this is
Bestie with my bestie.
And for episode 4, we're going to talk about our falling outs with best friends.
Friendship breakups.
Yep.
They suck, they happen, and we're over it.
It hurts, it stings, but just get new besties.
Yeah, we're just going to talk about it because I feel like normal, it happens.
Yep.
And maybe you can relate.
We've all gone through it, so yeah.
And I think with my experience, I can go deeper into it emotionally about like growing up and how I was with friends or not having friends. But with this one person in particular, we met through college soccer, and we clicked right away. We started hanging out more. I was driving. I had a car and I was driving, and this person did not have transportation. And, there were some points where she would tell me like, oh, I don't think I'm going to, go to school because I can't get there. And, just a lot of like family, I think, issues and problems. But for me, I think I know I have a good heart, a kind heart. I will go out of my way for the people that I love and that I really, truly care about. So I was like, no, I want you to obviously succeed in life. I want you to do good. I want you to continue going to school. So like we worked our scheduling together, and we would go to school at the same time. I would pick her up every day, go to college together, and take her home because I genuinely, from my heart, wanted to see my best friend thrive and not, feel like she has to be left behind because of family situations.
Right.
So, we would go everywhere. We would hang out. We would go places, meet up with friends, go to soccer, just, the usual. And this was, I think, my first kind of best friend friendship. So I was taking it very seriously and emotionally. And I think one of my love languages is gift giving. I love to gift give.
Yes.
So whenever I could and I was able to, I would love to do things, even if it's something small or, whatever. And we were both kind of, we're dumb and immature, going through like boy drama and all this stuff, but we always had each other.
Yeah.
And I think when it started to change was I met Eric, and I just think the feelings that I got from her was in the end, I felt used. I felt like in the end, the feelings weren't reciprocated. I think it was more serious on my end, and she would only need me when she wanted something. When she needed like a car ride, or like if she went somewhere, she wouldn't invite me. She wouldn't consider me. She would just be like, oh, I'm out hanging out with so-and-so. And I was like, there are friends, like we always hang out as a group. And it wasn't until I started noticing that she was hanging out with them solo without me. So I was like, it kind of gave me a bad taste. I was like, what's going on?
For sure.
Whenever I go out, I'm inviting her. Whenever I want to go out, I'm inviting her. But it got to the point where whenever she found someone to give her a ride, she wouldn't even like think of me.
She wouldn't consider
So,
you.
yeah. And I do feel like in a way our mentalities were different. I don't want to say that she was below me. No one, of course, is below me. I'm not at all higher than anybody. But I do think mentality-wise, I think I was a bit more mature.
Right.
And when it came to situations that would happen, when it would come to maybe advice, I was, as her best friend, I thought I was her best friend.
Right.
I would be honest with her. I would tell her if she was right, if she was wrong, what she would do, what I would do in a situation. If I thought she should leave something alone, whether she took it or not, I would support her regardless of her decision. I would never put her down for it. I would never make her feel guilty or bad about the decisions that she would make. But when it came to me, there was like judgment. There was like, she would make me feel like crap. And if I did something that she didn't agree with, she would ignore me and kind of like distance herself. And I thought that was very unfair.
Yeah, for sure.
Again, there are certain situations where, of course, it's like if your friend is in an abusive relationship, or obviously something is putting her in danger, and you want to genuinely help her, then reach out. I totally understand.
Different.
But it was just like girl talk. It was simple things. It was like maybe I would do something or I would, put myself in a situation, nothing at all bad. Yeah. But because she didn't agree with it, at one point she ghosted me. Oh. She full on ghosted me. She, without a text, without a call, I looked on social media. She blocked me on everything. Wow. My messages weren't going through. She was refusing to have contact with me because she was annoyed at the decisions that I was making. Even though like they were my decisions, I knew were going to make me happy in the end.
Yes.
So I just guess at that point I was like, I can't, like, who does that? What best friend ghosts someone?
Exactly.
Especially in a dark time where you're needed the most.
Yes.
Like, literally, instead of ghosting me, it would have meant so much if she stayed by my side and supported me during this process. But instead, she literally blocked me on everything because she didn't agree with it. And it hurt. Yeah. Of course it hurt. Of course I'm spiraling mentally and I'm like, what's going on? And it's kind of like manipulation. Like, what did I do to her?
Yeah, you doubt yourself.
Yes.
And how you were as a friend.
And I always want to apologize for everything. Like, maybe I should reach out to her and apologize to her. But then I'm like, but for doing something I want to do?
For making your own decisions?
For making my own decisions that are going to make me happy.
Yeah.
So it got to the point where I was like, I'm going through something. And now I'm kind of going through a friendship breakup. That also was like totally blindsided me.
Yeah, it's like adding to it.
Yeah, and I at this point I'm not as open to my family. Like, I don't really let them into like drama.
Right.
I try to separate it. So she was like my outlet.
Your go-to in that way.
Yes, and then with that gone, I was like, what the fuck?
Yep.
Like that. Like, we were constantly hanging out, talking, trying to keep the relationship going when we both started meeting different people. And at this point, she was also with someone who was going through kind of like the same stuff that I was going through, but it was like very one-sided. Yeah. Like, she was judging me a lot, but then whenever she came with me with her problems, I was supportive, loving, caring, letting her know, like, in the end, it's going to be okay. I'm not going to like judge you for it. But as soon as I opened up to her about the same thing she was going through, full judgment. So at that point, I'm like, okay, it's not the same. No. At this point, I'm like, that's kind of like strike 10. Yeah. Because I think I was holding in a lot. And yeah, so she just like stopped talking to me. No, what's it called? What's the word when people talk, like when you want to close something out, but like peacefully. Closure. Thank you. Closure. There was no closure. Yeah. None at all.
And that is so hard.
When you don't get closure for anything, it's just like you have to accept it and just be like, well, okay, I guess that's it.
It's almost like you're bottling it up.
Yes.
And it's not going anywhere. It's just kind of there.
Yes. Anyways, there was no closure. But I remember one day she called me randomly and she was like, hey, I've been thinking about you and I miss you so much. And I am so, so, so sorry that I basically just dropped you because of, my own beliefs or morals or how I was for you as a friend. Yeah. She said she was sorry. And I was like, I forgave her. Right. But it was not the same.
Oh, no. That's hard.
It was not the same after. And after, messages weren't the same. The relationship wasn't the same. Yeah. We were trying to talk how we used to. I felt like I couldn't go to her anymore. At that point, I'm like, how can I feel comfortable venting to you when the first time I vented to you, you judged me so hard to the point you ghosted me? And then, for you to come back and say, like, I'm so sorry, I miss you so much, and I've been thinking about you all the time. No, you haven't, I don't think. No. So it was definitely hard. It put in a perspective of, like, I need to stop putting so much energy into this, which sucks because I still kept putting energy into it because I was like, this is my first, like, what I thought was, like, best friend. Yeah. And so I tried to give her the benefit of the doubt as time went on. Which sucks was I invited her to my gender reveal. And I told her, she was the first person I texted, like, hey, because she was working. I said, you need this day off. And I told her, like, months in advance, you need this day off. this is my gender reveal. Nobody at this point knew I was having twins. It was a secret.
Oh, okay.
So she didn't even know. I was like, I'm going to surprise her at my gender reveal.
Yeah.
And she was still like, I'm your best friend. Like, I'm going to be there. But then every time I reminded her, she wouldn't confirm with me. So I'm like, hey, did you get this day off? And she'd be like, oh, yeah. Like, I have to double check. And I'm like,
going around it.
Like, if my best friend told me, hey, my gender reveal is this day, I'm like, say no more. I am there. I will be there.
If I have to.
I will go early in the morning to help you.
Yeah,
I will
set up whatever you need.
Exactly. I didn't get that from her. It was just kind of like, oh, okay, I'll see. I was like, I'll see. And I remember telling Eric at the time, like, she's not coming. I know she's not coming. I'm going to keep pressing it, like, hey, get, like,
Yeah.
I'm not physically, verbally telling her, like, you're my best friend, like, you should be there, but I'm, like, reading the tone of her text, like, I don't think she's coming.
Right.
Her friend, so what's funny is she had a group of friends that she introduced me to, and I loved them. I got along well with them.
Yeah.
And I'm happy meeting her in that point because I now gained, like, 5-6 new friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, I told them all about the gender reveal, and the day of the gender reveal, those friends showed up, and she didn't. Those friends showed up, and she didn't. I could cry right now. I was very hurt.
Yeah.
I was hurt, and those girls knew. Because I was like, where is she? And they're like, no, she's not coming. I was like, why? Like, you would think she would be here. And I remember they were telling me her boyfriend had, like, a family party, and I was like, oh, okay.
Gotcha.
That's great. Your boyfriend that you see every day.
Yeah.
Like, this is a gender reveal. And then, of course, as the gender reveal goes on, we find out I'm having twins. She messages me like, oh my God, you're having twins. Like, wow, I'm so sorry I couldn't be there. Like, and at that point, I'm like, don't even.
Like, are you?
But still, after that, I try to give her the benefit of the doubt. Yeah. I invite her to my baby shower. And same thing. She doesn't show up until, like, super, super late. She shows up. She sits down. She eats for, like, an hour. She takes a photo with me. And in the photo, she puts, like, I'm going to be an aunt. And that just gave me, like, a sour taste in my mouth. And I was like, don't give yourself that title. No, you don't deserve that title.
No.
And then after, like, an hour of being there, she got up and left. I kept my distance moving forward.
Right.
And then I remember one day, at that point, we're not really talking. We're not hanging out. It's completely done. Like, I moved in with Eric. We're not even close in destination-wise. So it's like we're distant, but I still care for her.
Right.
So I remember one time she was driving, and it was like, I'm up super late. I'm pregnant. It's hard for me to fall asleep. So I remember it's like 5 o'clock in the morning, and I go on, I think, Snapchat, and she's driving, and it's like her seatbelt isn't on because she's, like, driving, and she's filming herself driving. So then I text her, and I'm like, hey, like, just saw your story. Just want to make sure you're good. How are you? How are you doing? Also, like, I'm reaching out in a good...
Yeah.
Coming from a good intentions, but there's also some things that I wanted to, like, cover with her because she would start to post stories of, like, her drinking and driving, or of her boyfriend drinking and driving, and they're both drinking in the car. And I don't give a fuck if you're my best friend or not. That's not okay because you're putting yourself at risk. You're putting people at risk.
Others.
That's immature. That's selfish. So I remember I brought that up to her, and I was like, hey, just, like, please don't drink and drive. Play it safe. And she got pissed, and she, like, kind of went off on me. She's like, who are you? You think you're so much better than me? You don't even know who I am anymore. You've always thought you were better and just, like, more of a perfect person than I am. Like, don't come at me and judge me. Like, I'm perfectly fine. Like, she, like, totally went off, and I was like, you know what? I'm done. Like, that was my final straw. And I was like, you know what? I can't do this anymore. I just, like, after that, I was like, I can't. I went on all social media, unfollowed her on everything. And that was the last time I even talked to her. Wow. But I was angry. I remember Eric. I went downstairs with Eric, and I was like, I was heated. Pissed. I was heated. I was pissed. I was crying. Yeah. Because there's so many built up emotions of hurt and anger. And for this to go to that point, I was like, I can't
go back on you.
Yeah. Still to this day, I do, think about her, and I don't care. Like, I'll lurk through her stuff. She follows me on some stuff still. Yeah. And I'm just like, okay, I guess that's her. But as far as everything else, like the other girls falling out with her, like we all had a falling out with her. Wow. So I think that just told me too, like it wasn't just me. I think it was something that this person probably just, I don't know, but
either like she was going through something.
Probably. I in the end, I wish her well. Right. I hope she's doing well. I hope she's, happy and enjoying her life and where she's at. But as far as friendship, that's it. Like, that was it.
Wow.
But since then, though, I've kind of been a little, like, not, like, traumatized, but, like, I hold myself back now when it comes to certain people because I don't know what their intentions are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Experiences like that make it hard
to open up.
Yep.
Especially when you think that this person is supposedly your best friend and then they ghost you or go against you because of your decisions.
Yeah,
It's like, I don't think that's what a best friend does, and then they just pop in whenever they want.
And especially if they're decisions that aren't hurting anyone else,
Yeah.
and they're mainly for you.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, you talking to her, like, about, you noticing her drinking and driving and stuff, that's a different situation.
Anybody would bring something up.
Yeah, and so it's a little different how she made it seem like you were so judgmental, yet it was a serious thing. It's not something to be taken lightly, like drinking and driving to that extent. And so often, like you were seeing too.
Yeah, it was just shitty because the things that I would tell her, I understand it was like maybe emotionally and mentally for me, they were hurting me. But in the end, like, I would make the decisions for myself. And then next thing you know, she would come to me about the same exact things. And it's like, instead of ghosting you, I'm here supporting and caring, and I'm here for you.
Yeah.
I just wish I got that back in return instead of, hey, bye, peace, I'm ghosting you and not even going to tell you why.
Yeah. Not explaining herself. Like, yeah. And then honestly, bad communication just kills, like, so many relationships, friendships, like any kind of relationship.
Yeah.
It may be.
So that's my falling out. Anyways, I'm sure she's probably seen, because I've talked about it before on social media. I'm sure she's probably seen it, or she'll probably watch this. But I mean, that's my experience. Shitty, but it happens. We all go through. I think a friendship falling out at least once. It has to happen at least once. I think.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think so. Everybody.
But enough about me. Let's hear about your experience.
So, I think since you touched on, like, a best friend breakup, I'll do the same. Because I've had 2 falling outs.
I've had a few, but that was the biggest.
The biggest. So I guess the one that hurts the most is my best friend from my freshman year of high school. And since we met, we were, like, so inseparable. Like, we were just the best of friends. Like, there was a point where I was spending the night every night. We were like sisters in that way. And so, I mean, throughout, like, the years, we've been busy. We've been on different paths, but we still make time. We had every so often, like, hey, we need to hang out, like, catch up, things like that. But we weren't as close. But I would still consider her, like, one of my best friends, regardless of how often we see each other. Because I get it. As you get older, priorities change. You have things to do, whether you have 2 jobs and then your significant other. And, you just have stuff going on. We've been friends forever. And she was one of my bridesmaids. Well, someone I had asked to be a bridesmaid. And she had come over for the first time in a long time to discuss, like, what we were going to do for the bachelorette party and then just, like, different things about the wedding. She wasn't too, I guess, I feel like all of the other girls were more like, hey, like, what do you need? Like, what ideas do you have? What's this?
More tentative towards you.
Yeah, about it. And she had her say in, like, decorations one time about, like, some, like, lantern ideas. And besides that, she wasn't very, like, into it, it felt like. And we had, like, a group chat where we would discuss, so we're on the same page about trips, like, for the bachelorette, for me picking out my wedding dress, things like that. She didn't go for my wedding dress
shopping. Because you didn't invite her, or she just didn't show up?
No, I invited her, but she said she was going to go for her dad's birthday. They were going to do something for him, which I understood. I was like, okay, I know her parents mean, like, the world to her, and I get it. So there was that. And after that, for the Bachelorette, she was so wishy-washy whether she'd like go or not. Or it was kind of reminded me of what you were saying about your friend. Like there was never a for sure answer, like on the gender reveal. Mm-hmm. So that's how it was too. It was constantly like, so you're going to be able to make it? Or you know what I mean? Like, just so I knew for, you know, the rooms and planning more things out for tickets for any things we do and stuff like that. And what's it called? So she would never like answer me. And then I remember her saying like it was too early in advance to know if she would go, which kind of threw me off because it was like in 2 months or something.
Yeah.
So I mean, you would think you would need more time to plan something out than, you know,
I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think it's hard to confirm or tell whoever your occupation or manager is, like, hey, I need this off.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I was like, okay. And then we hadn't really been talking. She wouldn't really reply to the group chat whenever I would ask questions about, you know, certain things. I would always have to, it seemed like I would start messaging her separately. And it kind of sucked because it's like the whole point of it was to like organize those events in that way and just have it all there.
Yes.
So I would have to reach out to her separately like, hey, so like, what's your answer? Like, do you know what's going on? Yeah. And so she ended up coming over one time for the first time all year. I hadn't seen her all year actually. And let me see, it was probably in about June when she came over. So I hadn't seen her in a long time since I think her birthday, which is in December. And I remember, so Andy really loves to talk to people. And so like when we have guests over, he's super like talkative.
Of course.
And yeah, you know, so we were like in the kitchen, like me and her, like talking, catching up, and Andy was like talking to her a lot, and he'll do this like with my other friend too. And so like I kind of gave him like a face like okay, like go, because like I never see her, so I really wanted to have like one-on-one time with her. Mm-hmm. And I felt like, you know, he's taking up my time with her kind of a thing, you know. So like I gave him like a look, you know, from like go, and so he left and he went somewhere with like his brother or something. We go into the living room, and then she like tells me, I guess, from that look I gave him, she said that she didn't think I should marry Andy. She was like, your face. She was like, so are you sure you want to marry him?
Are you serious?
Yep. Like, you don't seem happy. She was telling me I didn't seem happy. Also that I was so young. She felt I didn't have the chance to go out and, you know, have my fun, like, with guys. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I didn't have the that experience with guys. Like, you know, she was telling me, like, also she brought up his weight. And that's what bugged me the most, because it's like,
who is she?
Yeah, like, what does it matter to you?
Who is she to say that?
Yeah, and even then, it's like, if you felt like I was so unhappy, you know, she had never said anything, but she's saying things now, like a couple months before we're supposed to get married. Mm-hmm. And that's what upset me a lot, too. And it's like, you kind of ruined that for me and for a little bit.
Yeah.
You know,
like,
that was
little
upsetting.
Do you know, I gave him that look to have one-on-one time with you, and this is what you bring up.
There were so many messages. She was saying that I looked at him in disgust. And I was like, in disgust? And, you know, she's like, yeah, you just don't seem happy in your relationship. But it's like, I told her, I'm like, this is the first time you've come over in so long. Where, what do you really know about a relationship? Mm-hmm. Like, at that point, you know, I never see you. And if I do, like, well, it's never, like, together, like, with him also. Yeah. So she doesn't know our dynamic in that way. Yeah. And I have other friends who, you know, come over and have even, like, seen when we're irritated with each other or whatever, or, like, little things, you know, whatever, like, you know, normal stuff. And they've never told me anything like that. Yeah. Ever. It's you know, and so that really hurt my feelings, because she was, like, saying, like, yeah, I don't know, it's important for me that someone, like, looks good, like, they're, into like the gym. Like, do you not want that? Like, that's not important to you? Or it's like,
oh, no. No.
You know, and I'm not the type to react. Like, I kind of absorb everything that's going on.
Yeah.
And like, I hear you out. And I'm just like, okay.
Also, like, what do you say in that moment? This person's telling you these things about your life.
Yeah.
And how it's not what she approves for her life.
Right. And it was the first time in months, like, is it half a year that she had come over and like really seen me and him together. And in that, like, she was like, the entire time you were looking at him in disgust. But it's like, it was annoyance for one. And it was like, you know what I mean? It wasn't what she was like assuming.
That boils my blood.
Yeah.
I'm like fuming.
I was, and like I said, because I didn't say anything about it. It took me a whole month to finally
process.
Yeah, because I was just like, okay, I was going down like thinking in my head, like, is this worth bringing up to her? Like, I know that, you know, me and her can potentially not be friends anymore, but also like she, you know, disrespected like my relationship, like what she was saying.
Yeah.
And, you know, just also disrespected Andy by commenting on that.
She crossed your boundaries.
Yes. So I was just like weighing it all out. Like, do I just talk to her and say, hey, I didn't, you know, like that, you know, whatever. But I came to the conclusion that I should just not have her at the wedding at all. So I had told her about it, and I wrote this long message. It was all very professional, like, not professional, that's the wrong word. Like, it was very calm.
Okay.
Like, it wasn't mad. I wasn't mad at her, nothing. I wasn't cussing at her. I didn't put exclamation points. It was just straight up.
Yeah.
It was just to the point. So I let her know, and she said it was pathetic of me to wait a whole month before saying something. And I'm just like, she never said sorry in the text messages. I have them still. She never said sorry once.
Always keep the receipts. Always keep. I still have receipts from my ex best friend. Always.
Yeah.
It's been years, but I have
them all. Yeah. No. And I remember too. So like, she was saying that I was pathetic about, you know, barely bringing it up, that I should have said something right then and there. But like, that doesn't, just because I don't, you know, she's more like fiery than I am.
She's vocal.
For sure. Yeah. So I feel like she may have like reacted like, what the fuck? And like said her 2 cents on it. But, and the thing is that also hurt me is just like, I don't comment on her relationship. Yeah. Where her and her man have like, you know, argued or said things, or I've heard him say things to her like
that maybe you don't agree with.
Yeah, but I stay quiet because it's not my business, and unless like I know like he's hurting her,
of course,
then I would, you know, step up, say something. Yeah. But other than that, so it's just kind of like, you know, really like your first time coming over here, and that's what you're gonna say. So it was really hurtful in that way, but you know, again, too, just like how you said, I wish her well. I don't wish anything bad on her. It did hurt that she did not apologize.
Oh, of course.
So I was just like, you know, then thinking like, she didn't say sorry. Like, what, did I overreact like to that at all? Like, where like when I was, I did tell like my mom about it. I told my friend about it too. Of course. Get like,
always tell your mom.
Always. Yeah. She, and like them too, they're just like, oh no. Like, and they were just like, I would have reacted completely different from you. I would have gone off like and everything. But personally, I'm not like that. And that's fine if you are too. But I don't know. Maybe it was harder too because I didn't want to say anything to jeopardize our friendship, even though she had just said that to jeopardize it, if that makes sense.
No, I understand.
Yeah. So there was that. I also like let her know too. Also lately, like I've been feeling you haven't really been interested, you know, enough in any of like the events. Cause then she ended up saying she wasn't sure if she was going to be able to make it to the Bachelorette too. So, and things like that. So I basically told her that. she didn't seem interested in that either. Like, it made me feel like she didn't really care about being a part of the wedding, like, at all either. Which she didn't comment on that either. So it's just like, so you don't care? Like, you had to, if she had said right then and there, no, like, I do care. It does matter to me.
Fight back a little, give you some reassurance.
Yeah, exactly. But instead, she went off on me. Like, you know, then later on, she didn't text back. And then she ended up texting me, oh, hey, just wanted to text you and just to rub it in my face that she was returning the dress. Okay. And she put laughing faces, LOL, like, yeah, I don't know. I can't even remember exactly what it was, but she messaged me again just to say she was returning the dress.
That's fine.
I'm like,
looked ugly on you anyway.
Just like all the shade. Yeah, I told her, I'm like, well, you know, you doing this is a perfect example of why I wouldn't want you there.
Yeah.
Like,
just don't show
up. You're
up.
continuing to like show, you know, true colors in that way.
Yeah.
It's like, what do you want me to say to that? You're trying to hurt me at that point by doing that. Going out of your way when we weren't talking already, when we had just had that discussion, and then you say that, and it's like,
why is it okay for you to come to me and voice your opinions on my life, but when I come to you about how that affected me, that's the last straw, and I'm disrespecting you, and I'm doing it out of nowhere when you blindsided me and took a look that I gave my soon-to-be husband as a sign that I'm disgusted by him? Like, that's how backwards is this person? Yeah, no, don't be friends. I'm sorry. That's too many red flags in the person, and it's draining of your energy. It's just like this person who's a walking freaking cloud that is judging you, voicing their opinions because it's not what they believe or want. That's too much. Return the dress. I would have been like, perfect, thank you. Don't show up, unfollow me. I'm glad this happened before my wedding. Bye.
I mean, like I said, to this day, like, I have no hate for her at all.
I do.
Like, I do for you.
I do for you.
It was just, you know? So that was, I think, the most hurtful, because that was my longest term. Like, one of my longest
And it's happening in a moment of where you're going to experience
the happiest. It's supposed to be the happiest time. And it's like, you're not like adding to that. You're trying to get me to not marry him.
You're trying to stop me from marrying someone I want to be with because I'm genuinely happy. Yeah.
And you've never said anything before on any of like those topics about how I should go out there more, how whatever it may be. So it's like all of a sudden, like, why now? Which, so that's mine with a best friend. Because I feel like it's different too between like a falling out with a best friend versus just a friend.
Oh yeah, a friend, they come and go. Best friends are like, holy crap.
Yeah, so that's the one for me.
That really did it. That got me fired up.
Yeah. It was really sad, especially like in the way that she came back at me after me like just communicating with her, not saying anything bad.
Yeah.
Like,
but it's also like kind of, it's rude for her to expect you to react in that moment when it's like she came to you unexpectedly and voiced her stuff and you needed time to process that. Yeah. Because I'm also not the type of person who I feel like would react in that moment. I think I would be like, oh, what is happening right now? Yeah, I was like, are you shock. Serious? Like, is this really happening? Yeah. And then I think in my head, I would have been like, I'll wait for her to leave. Yeah. Of course, talk to my man about it and be like, what the hell is going on? But I think I would have done the same thing, like process it. Yeah. Send a mature form of communication, I guess, with this, like trying to be the bigger person still when you know you could go off or you should go off. Yeah. And that's so backwards. Yeah. That sucks.
So I like to process things. I like to make sure I know what I'm going to say, like hit all of the points. Yeah. And then
she's the type of person who can say shit but can't take it back. Like can't get shit back at her, whatever it's called. I'd be throwing shit at her. I want to throw my shit at her right now.
Yeah, I know. It sucked. It definitely sucked for sure.
Yeah, that's horrible. Yeah. And that's why we don't have best friends anymore.
And that is why we don't recommend it.
Don't get a best friend.
Only besties.
Only.
It's like,
They're different.
yeah, it's different energy.
Yeah, girls are bitches. I'm just kidding.
Just go into that.
No, but I think that's why it's very intimidating meeting girls, because you never know what you're going to get.
Yep.
So I think for me, I've always kind of kept one foot in, one foot out when it comes to meeting women, especially now that I'm an adult.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I don't know what your intentions are. I don't know you.
Yep. It's scary. It's kind of like when you start dating someone.
Yeah.
It's just a little different, but because I feel like you almost in a way get closer sometimes to your friends. Like you're able to talk about a little more. Like I have one friend I could talk about literally anything with versus like there's some stuff I don't necessarily, not that I don't want to tell Andy, but I feel like she'll understand me. Like, you know,
Of
girls
course.
understand girls in certain situations. So,
Or sometimes you just need like a girl perspective. Like, what do you think about this? Is this valid? Have you felt this way? Because it's reassuring when you talk to someone and they've also been in your position.
yeah, and they get you.
Yes. So, I mean, girls. Yep. I'm never I'm just kidding.
Oh, crazy. You're like, get out.
I know. Well,
Not letting this get any deeper.
Yes. Like, that's it. We're ending this podcast now. Too many girls.
Yeah, that's it.
But yeah, I mean, I guess that's our personal experiences with friendship breakups.
Yeah.
Let us know in the comments below if you've ever gone through something, if it's like as hurtful as it is with a real relationship, because that's what I've heard too.
Yep.
Friendship relationships hurt more than real actual partner breakups.
Yeah.
Which I think I can attest to. But yeah, those are our personal stories. If you're watching this, ex-best friends, hi, how are you?
Hey, no hate.
No hate, just shade.
Just shade. Just
No
shade.
hate, just shade, but we also wish you the best.
Definitely. Do.
This could be you. I'm just kidding.
Could have been, but
it's not.
you kind of. Well, I just said the story, so
throwing shit at you. So that's going to conclude today's episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you've ever gone through a breakup, if you feel like you're about to go through a friendship breakup, if you have, go ahead and leave a comment down below. How was that for you? Was it good? Was it bad? Was it mutual? Is she a bitch now? Just kidding. But I think we've all come to an agreement that maybe one of us in a lifetime has gone through one.
Gone through it.
Yes.
Let us know also if you agree with our situations. If we were in the right and you feel like you're team us or not, basically.
Yeah.
And if you even have any stories of your own, go ahead and feel free to like share it with us. And we can, just message you back or either, talk about it on the podcast too and give you our insight. That would be fun. So, and then obviously you could stay anonymous.
Yes.
So,
but yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Go ahead, like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at TW Besties. We'll put our handles on the screen or in the description below. And yeah, we'll see you guys next time. Thank you.
Bye.